there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. I'm ready to actually continue the event. Finish the event. I am not late at all. Still look plenty of time. And with about halfway left, as long as the internet doesn't go out, it should be fine. And I'm not jinxing it by saying that. Okay, better not. So without further ado, shucking off the past. Some people leave their past behind them. Some people agonize over it for all the days to come. Wow, that's so rough. Starting off with pain. Kolf is in the scavenger camp, looking at the wounded woman from behind. Miss, it's getting cold outside. Would you like to come back in and rest? I'd like to walk around here a little. It might help jog my memory. The cold wind blows across the highland every now and then, forcing Kolf to press down on her hat to keep it in place. Wow, cold wind there, hot wind here. She follows the woman's gaze, but all she sees is empty wasteland, which makes her hold on tighter to her hat. Alrighty then. I'll keep you company for a bit. Don't stay out too long, though. The wind is cold. The hurt woman doesn't reply right away, only stretches her stiff neck as she takes in her surroundings, to begin shuffling aimlessly in a random direction. Kolf begins to wonder if this aimless wandering actually serves a purpose. Ah, that's a test spot. I think it would be best not to go in there. Hey, hello? A test plot? She stops in front of the patch of land. But there's nothing here. It's a barren square plot of land, out of place, rough, a waste of effort and hope. There isn't so much as withered branch here. It seems like the only thing that grows on this plot is nothing. However, Kolf notices some things that can't be overlooked. The scavengers go out tilling the soil almost every day. They began a little early this morning, and I can see the next shift heading this way. There's nobody here now, so does that mean that the day's work is done? Like, this is the only part where no one has piled up. Where no snow has piled up. The scavengers seem to believe that the snow and its collapsed particles will contaminate the soil, so they push it outside the plot. Kolf looks down at the freshly turned soil, somewhat curious about it. Hey, hello? I am so ready for this event. Did they plant seeds here? Or will they only sow after winter has passed? Supposedly, the seeds that the scavengers used were taken from their emergency rations. I wonder if they're still live. Wait, seeds from their food? Their emergency rations? Yeah, I don't know if they'd be... Would those be viable for planting? But even if the seeds were fine, there aren't many cases where plants were successfully grown in the yellow zone. It looks like they've gone to a lot of effort for this. I wonder if they'll succeed. Not all efforts are rewarded. That sort of thing is commonplace. Kolf freezes, then turns to look at the woman. However, she just so happens to have turned aside, exposing an emotionless side profile to her. Kolf reflexively follows the woman's gaze to the heart of the settlement. All lit up and fancy, right? It's nothing like the desolation here. That's the heart of the settlement. They've got trade fairs, residential blocks, warehouses, and so on. You could call it a stable and fully developed town. Does it jog your memory? Nobody among the scavengers recognizes you, so I'm guessing that you might be from the settlement, or an outsider who came for the festive trade fair. The hurt woman merely shakes her head, a blank look on her face. I see. Oh well, there's no rush. Maybe it'll all just pop back into place after a few days of rest and relaxation. Just then, someone heads over from the ruins. Hey, Miss Amnesia, Miss Doll. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Did you girls come out here for a breath of fresh air? Several of the scavengers call out to them. A few minutes later, they're in front of Kolf and the woman. Miss Doll, did Miss Amnesia remember anything? I think she might need a little more time. The scavengers murmur their agreement. Then one of them pats the injured woman on the shoulder. Oh, imagine if they patted her, like, on a sore shoulder. It seems to throw her off balance, and Kolf moves to support her. I guess it was a sore shoulder, oops. It's surprising just how much strength a gaunt little body like that can possess. In contrast, the amnesiac woman seems a little more well-fed. Kolf sighs internally. Aw, it's okay, miss. Just focus on getting better. Once you're strong enough, we'll take you around to look up the guards. That said, those dogs of the management have their noses in the air. They don't give a crap about us, so you probably have to explain your circumstances to them on your own. Thank you. Aw, it's nothing. If you really can't find your people, then you can just hang with us. Plowing the land and searching for parts is still enough to make a living. Who knows? Maybe we'll remember someday as long as you don't starve to death. Maybe you'll grow a pumpkin. That's taller than a man too. Heh. You guys have a really positive outlook. You're right. Things might not look good right now, but if you hang in there, things will probably get better. Yup. We made it through this year after all. Oh, I heard the expedition leader, Garen, came back. Although we probably won't be allocated any of the good stuff, we can probably beg or borrow some stuff, right? Plus, the trade fair's almost here, so spring is coming and we'll be able to collect our annual supplies. Who knows? We might be able to grow something by next year. That's an improvement, right? Truth is, most of us followed Chief Yura because our families are gone. The idea of finding people from our hometown and living with them is way better than dying alone out there. When the days are this cold, you'll go for any way of keeping warm, even if it's just by huddling up with others. The wounded woman is in a bit of a loss for how to respond to them and merely grunts. Alright, that's enough chatting for now. Our little walk is almost over. Miss, you ought to head back and get some rest. Clove bids the scavengers goodbye and helps the wounded woman back to her sickbed. However, the woman turns and heads elsewhere as they approach the medical tent. Miss, our tent is this way. The wind isn't as strong here. I'd like to spend a bit more time outside. The wounded woman slowly walks between the tents. The red ribbons which serve as festive decorations flutter in the wind. When they block her vision, she reaches out to sweep them aside. Wait for me. Even though several layers of tent fabric, the scavengers' voices carry clearly through the air. This tastes awful. Are we really supposed to celebrate the festival by eating this? What do you think? You know well as I do how this year turned out. You might not even get potatoes if you were outside. Just eat it, man. Or whatever. Or what if we try turning it into mashed potatoes? Maybe with a little bit of dirt to bulk it up. Or we could add some potato to the dirt for flavor. Ah, yes. My favorite. Dirt with a hint of potato. Yummy, yummy. Come on, we can't possibly eat dirt, right? Leaving aside whether it's or not it's actually edible, we ought to save clean dirt for farming crops. Clean dirt? How about adding some water? Would water not work? You mean clean water? Didn't Chief Yura say to save some water for the sowing season in spring? If you think it's too dry, you can always try some of that meltwater outside. Now with added collapsed particles. Oh yeah, delicious. Radiation, my favorite. Yeah, right. As if you could eat that crap. Ugh. Maybe we could tell Chief Yura that we won't be celebrating this time around. I mean, we don't even know how next year's going to be, so we should save up some rations. Hell no! If the year went poorly, it can't be helped. We all worked hard this past year, to the bone even. That's why we need this reunion dinner to wrap things up properly. Being able to eat well is a good omen for the coming year. And besides, even if potatoes taste like crap, being able to fill your belly is still a good thing, right? At least you'll have the strength to work. Okay. Potatoes are delicious. Okay, maybe you need a bit of salt at least. Or depending, because if it's a sweet one, just by itself is good enough. And oh, I know that feeling. Good morning to you. Not being able to sleep because of the heat. I was debating napping before this, but no nap for me. Oh yeah, have you taken a look around the fair? They say Leader Garen's back, and he had quite a haul. There's just about everything in there. Lots of underground brokers came as well, with canned food, fish, meat, and so on. Wish I could try some of that while I'm still alive. Don't be retarded, yeah. If you break the law, they'll drive you out and then you really starve to death. Meh. I'll just place my faith in these potatoes. Say, do you think we can make it taste like fish? The wounded woman's strength fails her. She stumbles and collapses against one of the tent poles. Grr! Who knocked my tent? The scavenger draws the flap aside. Miss Amnesia, hey, you okay? We were just making some dirtato salad. No, wait, we mixed the dirt. Wanna try some? Sorry for bumping into your tent. Aw, don't worry about it, miss. Have some. It's better than going hungry, right? We don't have much in the way of fancy cuisine here, but we can still fill our bellies. We'll be able to get some supplies once the festive trade fair begins. Yeah, we still have the fair. I've been looking forward to it for half a year now. The management's never failed to deliver on that side. Maybe we'll get something other than potatoes this year? Why not come in, miss? No, it's alright. I was just passing by. I'm not hungry. She waves to them, forcing a smile to her face. Her smile soon fades, replaced by confusion and mixed feelings. Come on, miss, have a bite. Treasure trove. Tales of treasure hunting rarely ever come to a true end. The game just crashed. And now we see double of me. Hi. Hello there. How did the game crash, of all things? Well, that means I get extra scuff luck. Sheesh. Hey, game. Okay, let me try this again. No fear, no pain. Okay, getting this to work. Ta-da! Wow. That was some interesting stuff. Okay, back in. Treasure trove. Treasure, please. No scuff, please. We followed Groza's analysis of the mini robot's route and head deeper into the ruins. Clove sends through another comms request. Commander! Vibly! Clove shoves Vepli aside and forces herself into the frame. She's speaking much faster than normal. Oh, poor Vepli. She just wants to say hi to us and perform. Commander, the woman lady vanished. Everyone in the camp searched all the tents, but we couldn't find any trace of her. She must have because we can't find her anywhere else. What should we do, Commander? How did we lose her? Or how did they lose her? What the heck? When was the last time you saw her? About half an hour ago. We came back from walking outside, but just as I was getting ready to change her bandages, I came back and found that she wasn't in her bed. Beverly's been practicing for the show in the commander's tent. Beverly didn't see the missing audience member. Cove briefly describes the events that took place. Doesn't seem like anything's wrong. The camp's far away from everything else and she's hurt, so she couldn't have gone too far. Could she forget her memories and suddenly remember she had something to do? With no idea what might have happened, the dolls fall silent. Just leave her be for now. Whether she stays or goes won't affect us. And we saved her simply because we had the luxury of doing so. She's free to leave if she wants. You and Vepli can keep searching for her if you want. If you find her collapsed somewhere, help her out. If you can't find her, then you don't need to spend too much time and effort on it. Understood, Commander. I'll look for her one last time. The transmission ends. I hope she's alright. Everyone, we're almost at our destination. Hostile robots might show up, so please stay alert. It's in the building up ahead, right? Main door looks closed. I'll go bash it open right now. We're going for a frontal assault? Chiyohua, wait. Chiyohua quickly halts in her tracks. We don't know what's happening inside that building. We should probably circle around the back and try to observe the insides before deciding on what to do. Oh, that makes sense. Sorry, I was being hasty. Let's go from the left then. Chiyohua runs on ahead. Well, these are ruins for you. There's a lot of rotten rust overhead. Oops, mind your feet. The ground's crumbling. Thanks for the reminder. But I think you were the only one who stepped on the crumbly bits. Is that so? Closing me then. No making fun of me for it though. Ladies, please keep quiet. There might be robots in there listening to the situation on the outside. The air falls silent.
I think I can see what's inside from here.
Yura finds a hole in the wall and crouches down to look inside. A moment later, Yura pulls away from the hole. He seems shaken by what he's seen. He looks at me and freezes up for a moment, his mouth opening and closing like a goldfish's before he finally manages to regain the ability to speak. Beside him, Chiyohua eagerly takes his place.
It's the right place. It's full of...
Whoa, Commander, there are mini robots everywhere in there. Row after row, with all kinds of resource crates around them. You gotta see this, Commander.
Chiyohua took the words right out of my mouth.
Chiyohua pulls me over to the hole.
Chiyohua, take a few pictures of those mini robots and see if you can find out anything new about them. Girls and Sabrina, help her out.
The dolls begin working. Those mini robots look just like any other robot you see in the Yellow Zone. Nothing unusual about them.
Commander, given the weathering on their outer shells, it's likely that not all of them are from the same batch. They seem to have been manufactured in a different series and gathered here. I see. Commander, can I prevail on you and your dolls to take out these robots? We scavengers didn't steal those items, and if we can return those stolen goods, we may be able to change their bad opinion of us. At the very least, we won't be blamed for the most recent spate of thefts. Also, these robots attack us when we're out in the wasteland. Lots of our guys have fought them before, and rebuilding the ruins would be easier without them around.
I mean, we're already here, Commander. Why don't we throw hands at them? She's so eager to fight. Look at the stars in her eyes.
That was my plan from the beginning. When you attack, try and leave a few intact. It'll make tracing them or turning them in easier.
Got it. I knew you'd say yes. Now then, shall we get to it then?
Be careful. They might have a functional alert.
With a thud, Chiyohua lands among the mini robots and yells to her friends. Oh crap, I triggered the defense programs. Help me out, guys! Crap, these dinner gates and Goliaths are all moving. I can see that. Chiyohua, you should inform your teammates before you start a fight. Sorry, I haven't had teammates in a while. Won't happen again. The dolls rush to join the battle. Chiyohua, you derp. What a derp! But you know, I like her still. She cute. She's just silly. A bit clumsy, but that's fine. Like nothing I can't handle. Man, that makes me want some more energy drink. Yummy, yummy. Ta-da! After a brief skirmish, all the enemy robots are dealt with. Phew, it's over. So the neon that was responsible for stealing all the supplies was actually this pack of mini robots. Commander, Chief Yura, let's go over our spoils. I mean, the stolen goods.
Okay, coming.
Yura and I enter the building and we look at the supply crates of various sizes that cover the ground. Many of them are plastered with labels reading Festive Fair and fancy lettering. It seems they're part of the trade fair decorations.
Let's start by consolidating everything.
The battle just now has made an even bigger mess of the supply crates compared to before. The dolls begin working at my command. Chief Yura, once we send this stuff back, people won't suspect the scavengers as much, right?
Well, we'll finish doing an inventory of the items, and then I'll hand them and these robots over to the inspector. The scavengers can't operate these robots, and if the management takes a good look at these robots' authorizations and data logs, they ought to be able to find something that benefits us.
However, Yuri doesn't seem to be cheered up by this new development.
The thing is, until the truth is made public, the fact that these items were found in our turf won't necessarily clear our names in the eyes of the people who don't know the truth. On the contrary, it might actually make things worse. I need to think about the best way to hand these things over. And I think it's better to keep quiet about this until we fully analyze the pros and cons of doing so.
Can't you contact the inspector in private? Maybe try to send it back under the cover of night? The settlement has night curfew, so things are pretty quiet then.
I was thinking that too. I'll contact the inspector now.
Yura's call's rejected twice before it finally goes through. Oof. Instant voicemail. The man that Yura calls the inspector has a stern look in his face, as though he was born scowling.
Yura, did you schedule this call? Sorry about that, Inspector. We made a surprising discovery.
Yura points to the pile of lost items behind him. The inspector raises an eyebrow, and for the first time, he looks directly at Yura and me as I stand beside him.
Where'd you find them? Did you catalog them? What exactly is in there? We found them in the depths of the ruins. We're on the scene right now. I'll send you the coordinates. We've also counted and sorted them. I'll send you the list as well.
The inspector goes through the information Yura sent.
Is that all? Is there nothing else?
What else should there be? It's not like we got a list of stolen items to check against, right? There's something I've been meaning to say back then in that interrogation room. There's something weird about you guys. If you have something to say, then just say it. The inspector seems completely unbothered by Chiyohua's displeasure.
Never mind. You've done well in finding the lost items. However, I have a question. These coordinates are in the depths of the ruins. When did the scavengers go so far inside? I don't recall seeing any reports about it.
The question is addressed to Yura, but he's looking directly at me.
We've never been here before. There are many robots everywhere, and they attack in self-defense whenever anyone gets close. It's not like we can handle them with the weapons we have. It was all thanks to Chiyohua and her commander.
Yura steps away from the center of the frame so Chiyohua and I are fully visible. Chiyohua merely shakes a fist and grits her teeth. So, you're that Inspector Gadget or something? Ah, yes, Inspector Gadget. I remember your voice. You were questioning me in there. You were on the other side of that one-way mirror, weren't you? The inspector nods to me and ignores you. Wow. Perhaps I'm imagining things, but he seems a bit too focused on sizing me up.
Inspector, I called you in the hopes of arranging a way to secretly transport these items. After all, they were found in the ruins. It's not often that scavengers get to contribute to the community, so we'd rather not have it cause suspicion and dissent instead. That is understandable. I'll have my assistant arrange the details with you.
And with that, the inspector ends the call.
Huh. I just got an invitation to a meeting from his adjutant. Looks like I'll have work to do today.
That's good, right? No matter how you slice it, since the scavengers are bringing the lost items in, they can't just turn it around on you and make you the villains of the story, right? Chiyohua, please don't jinx it.
Who knows? We're not like Leader Garen and his expedition corps. Everyone loves them, still. Since we can't change everyone's views of us overnight, all we can do is the best we can with our abilities. The inspector seemed to be in a better mood after seeing those items. He probably won't hassle the scavengers for a while now. Chiyohua, everyone, thank you so much.
Did his face change?
It did, right? Usually, he frowns even more than that.
Chief Yura seems to have thought of something, and he hugs himself while shuddering. Never mind, it's in the past. No point thinking about it. Commander, Chief Yura, we'll be going back to the camp to resupply. If we're only going to move the stolen goods after the sun goes down, we might have to wait for a while.
I want to watch over the goods myself. After all, we went to a lot of effort to find it. We can't let this roast chicken fly the coop. Commander, could you lead the dolls back and give them a rest? I've logged the route we took here. I'll have my stronger friends come by later to prepare to move these items tonight. Will it be okay? I think you mentioned this year was your first time coming in this deep. Well, you cleared the route and we'll be coming in force. I think we can handle it.
Noticing your hesitation, Yura lightheartedly reassures us.
We'll be fine. My boys and I have been exploring these ruins for almost a year now. They've grown a lot in their experiences. If there's anything we can't beat, we'll run. Fair enough. We'll be heading back then. Alright, Commander. We'll be staying for the festive trade fair. Once it starts, we'll probably be able to collect some supplies. When the time comes, feel free to come by our camp and we'll celebrate. Well, our points are kind of dismal. We should have enough for a decent dinner with our saviors, I think.
Oh, speaking of meals, I actually found something interesting just now, but I don't have the time to explain in detail. Once we're done here, I'll tell you all about it at camp. If all goes well, we'll be able to eat more lavishly next year. Even if it isn't this year.
That'll be great.
The way back is long, and we still see Yura waving to us in the distance. Commander, I actually received a text message just now. It looks weird, like some kind of prank. However, the timing was impeccable, so it might actually be legit. Chiyohua holds her communicator up in front of me. The sender's unknown. To the commander of the Elmo, I have an urgent commission for you that pays well. The price is negotiable. I would like to tell you about it in person, Farm Inspector. There are a bunch of coordinates behind it, which just so happen to be inside Darksteel Farm.
When did you receive this information?
Right after Chief Yura spoke to the inspector.
Rosa, can you pinpoint the location of the supply coordinates?
Well, it's within the farm. It's some distance from the other locations we've passed through previously. Now, comparing with the map data on of the fair settlement, I found it, Commander. It's the farm's administration center. Huh? Could it actually be from the inspector? Are you interested in this message's contents? He did say it would pay well, and I need the money. I give Groza a meaningful look, urging her to think of the Elmo's bells. Yes. And Groza indicates that she understands. She's like, yeah, we broke. Commander, I believe we should learn more about the nature of this commission.
It's decided then. Once we're rearmed and rested, we'll head over.
Do we need to make an appointment or something? Chief Yura got grilled out just now because he didn't make arrangements. Come to think of it, how do we even make appointments? Do we have permission to do that? The message didn't mention any particular timing, and it said it was an urgent mission, so maybe we can skip the appointment. Huh, is that what it means? No point in thinking more about it. We'll know to get there. I don't want to make an appointment with him. Unless he pays me super duper well, then okay, fine. But otherwise, no. No, no, no. Alrighty. Voice of Faith. When presented with the options of cowardice and recklessness, choose bravery. Yes. Between cowardice and recklessness, what do you want? I want the hidden option, bravery. No fear, no pain. There are many guards near the administration center, and we are approached before we can even reach the signposted main door. He's frowning too, just like that stern inspector.
Are you the Elmo's commander? I'm Inspector Liu's assistant. Please follow me.
He produces a metal name tag with his name on it from his pocket, and after briefly checking our identities, he gestures to us to follow him. Two squads of guards coincidentally happen to arrive and begin a shift change. As the rows of men interlock and shift, the adjutant heads toward the main door, but instead goes around it, heading toward the rear of the admin center. I signal the dolls to slow down. Chiyohua leans in close and whispers into my ear. Is there any need to be so sneaky about this? Isn't the inspector the big boss of the settlement? Do you think they're going to try and arrest and interrogate us?
We'll just have to ask them.
I look behind us. The shift change is proceeding apace. With the guards reporting to each other in the usual fashion, it serves to completely screen off the route that we're taking around the admin center. Excuse me, but aren't we going in through the front door?
The inspector would prefer that the discussion be conducted in secret, so we seek your understanding. Our choice of location is not very conventional.
Huh? Listen up, pal. Conventional or not, it better not be the damn interrogation room again. No way in hell I'll just let the commander go in there. You have no idea, Commander. You can't get out once you go in. It's like the Black Dolphin prison.
Please be at ease. You're not under suspicion, and the venue in question is simply a room that has not been used in a long time. We won't draw attention there.
The dolls look at me, waiting for my answer. The The adjutant glances to the side, and the guards behind us.
They won't be able to buy us much time. Commander, the inspector does not want to force your involvement, but I shouldn't be saying this. But as an individual, I hope you'll bring some change, some way to improve things.
The adjutant does his best to show his sincerity.
Does your inspector keep his promises? I distinctly recall him mentioning it pays well.
The adjutant freezes for a moment, and then he responds.
I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the payment. Please follow me.
The adjutant pushes the door open and gestures for us to enter, while he stands watch outside. There's someone waiting inside the room.
Commander the Elmo, your reputation precedes you. I'm glad we could meet at last. Your performance during the settlement theft case has left a deep impression on me. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm sure you will not be disappointed by the payment for this commission.
He stands up and looks me over. There's no sign of anything resembling joy in his stern expression. Wow, look at him checking me out. Beside me, Chihuahua clenches her fists. I cover her hand, and then hand her off to Sabrina so the latter can try to calm her down.
Hello, Inspector Leo. It seems one of my dolls was in your care previously. Allow me to thank you for your hospitality.
The inspector goes silent for a moment.
We regret mistaking your doll for a thief, and all suspicion on her has been cleared. If our interrogators gave any offense, I would like to apologize on their behalf.
Chihuahua, they've apologized already. Don't be mad, okay? I'm not mad. I was framed. I've been running around in the yellow zone for years, and this is the first time anyone's treated me like a thief. Also, the inspector seems to have a commission for the commander. It's gonna make things difficult for her if you stay mad at the inspector, don't you think? Sabrina patiently quells Chihuahua's wrath, which allows her to cool down and think. That kind of makes sense too. Chihuahua glares at the inspector one last time and takes a deep breath. Fine then, for the sake of the commander and this payment, I hope we'll all get along. Sabrina breathes a sigh of relief as she mutters to herself. Good thing it was Chihuahua. At least she's easy to persuade.
Heh. She's always been the accepting and optimistic type.
I mutter my own reply to Sabrina. Maybe that's why she makes friends with everywhere she goes.
I just want the misunderstanding to be cleared up so this does not impede on our joint operations going forward. Have a seat, Commander.
The inspector pulls up a chair and we both sit down.
Before we officially begin, there's one thing I'd like to verify for safety's sake. I understand your capabilities to a certain extent, and since I have decided to entrust you with this matter, I will also be placing great trust in you. To facilitate future endeavors, I'll be sharing some information with you that should not leave this room. Can I ask you to keep it a secret from me, whether or not we end up working together?
I guess, maybe.
Don't worry. We of the Elm will know how things work around here. I'll get to it then. The farm lost more than just those items you found. We also lost collapsed pieces, enough to feed hundreds of people for 6 months.
Dang! How many banners would that be for? So, hundreds of people for 6 months. Oh man, I could max out at least one doll and one weapon. Once he finishes, the room is so silent you could hear a pin drop. Wait, how many? Holy crap! This is one hell of a job. If you're talking about enough to feed hundreds of people for half a year, you'd need half a dozen dump trucks to carry them all, right?
We're planning to use those collapsed pieces to purchase the basic living supplies so that we will be distributing to the residents on the first day of the festive trade fair. We've chosen to delay the opening ceremony, but that is not a permanent solution. Let me put it this way, even if we distributed all the remaining supplies in our warehouse, we won't be able to support the settlement for half a year. In addition, we cannot keep delaying the opening ceremony forever. I want to hire you to find the lost collapsed pieces ASAP. As for the payment...
The inspector sounds tired and dejected, as though all this has drained him of his emotions. Yeah, losing that much money, yeah, I get it. Oh man. He sends me a contract which contains a respectable figure.
Considering the sheer quantity of of the collapse pieces that went missing. Don't you think calling it a simple case of lost and found is kind of insulting to the residents' intelligence? Of course, it would be strange to say that they vanished all at once. But that is why I'm handing this secret investigation to you. The collapse pieces are normally stored in the most heavily guarded part of the warehouse. Not many people can repeatedly access that area.
So you suspect someone inside the settlement was involved? If a full transport chain was involved, maybe it was a group effort.
Right now, I have no idea who I can trust, so I might as well draw on the outside force to help. Thanks to the stall, I had the perfect excuse to publicly mobilize our resources to investigate the Elmo. At the very least, I am now certain that you are an uninvolved third party, at least for the moment. Everything is clear to me now, for the most part, but I have one question.
I point to the payment on the contract.
If the amount of collapse pieces we find does not match the initial estimate, then even if we do this task for you, there's no guarantee that this farm's management committee will be able to pay the full amount, or even pay at all. Am I correct to assume this?
The inspector is silent for much longer than before. Finally, he nods.
To be frank, the sum promised here is the maximum amount I can muster up, even if everything goes according to plan. The recovered collapse pieces are needed for the celebratory distributions. Only after those are given out can the remainder be used for payment. If you accept payment in installations, then as long as the farm survives, we'll be able to pay off the promised amount in 3 years.
Wow. 3 years of support. Of doll support. In this case, or animal support. I'm somewhat surprised by this. Isn't 3 years a little long for this? From what we saw in the daytime, the festive trade fair has a wealth of goods in display. Surely, the farm's finances aren't that bad, are they?
Part of the merchandise in display at the festive trade fair is brought by the brokers themselves. The rest of it is collected by the expedition team. Also, our trade with the brokers depends on what the expedition teams bring back. Right now, the nearby ruins have essentially been cleared out, so the expedition team can only go further afield. We need to take into account the impact of such factors on our work efficiency.
I see. You've been very forthcoming with us, so allow me to consider your offer. I study the numbers in the contract and think about the Elmo's financial situation and how we have very few options left. We're just like, should we do it? Well, we don't have that much money anyways, but I don't want to seem too desperate, so let me just think. Our expenses have increased as the number of dolls joining us has gone up. Even 50% of the offered price would allow us to cover the Elmo's operating costs.
Very well, I accept.
I reach out and shake the inspector's hand, and then quickly finish signing the contract.
And now, we can finally get down to business.
Do you have any suspects in mind?
Yes, the lead suspect is our accountant cum warehouse manager. Her name is Delia. We found some irregularities during our previous routine investigation, but she'd gone missing by then. The management went through all of our surveillance footage, but couldn't find any trace of her.
I didn't know accounting was so dangerous. When did she vanish?
That was 3 days ago. This is her personal file, including her picture.
The inspector brings up the suspect's photograph. Sabrina exclaims in surprise and even grows and has a stunned look on her face. Commander, that's the lady we found.
You've seen her? When? Where's she now?
If she's the one you're looking for, things might be a little tricky. It's true that we saw her, but she ran off. According to the transmission from Kolf, she'd already left the scavenger's camp before we found the missing trade goods. Groza quickly explains the situation.
Have you been checking your camera footage over the past couple of days? No, the trade fair is about to begin, and our guards have been stretched thin. Also, we performed a comprehensive search before and concluded that she'd already left the farm's territory.
Actually, some people subscribe to the theory that the most dangerous place is the safest place. We might still have a chance. Since Yura turned up in the scavenger's camp, and we know the time frame when she left, we could try looking through the logs for the cameras nearest to the camp. That might narrow it down. Let's go to the archives. Sometime later. I see. It all makes sense now. After she left the scavenger's camp, she entered a civilian home and left with the trolley and supply crates, heading for the fair. She disguised as one of the traders. Chiyohua plays the video clips of all those events in sequence, forming a complete narrative. Our eyes meet, and we decide to take action immediately. Lady! There are more people in the trade fair today than before. Everyone is smiling brightly, their faces full of hope and anticipation, utterly clueless about the disaster looming on the horizon. I glance to my side, at the inspector whose face is fixed in a grim scowl, and reflect on how ignorance truly is bliss. Chiyohua in position. I'm ready to. The disguised Delia has already come into range of the dolls. It is time to close the net.
Commander, we're in range. Ready to capture the target anytime. Go.
On my command, Chiyohua and Groza rush forward, each seizing one of the target's arms, and Sabrina steps up in front of her. Shh, don't panic, we're just here to... Delia quickly looks between the dolls and me, but her eyes light up the moment she sees the inspector, like a limp marionette suddenly imbued with a spark of life. All of us disguise ourselves before coming here, but she somehow managed to hone in onto the inspector with perfect accuracy. How she did it is a mystery. Dear customers, your order is ready. Please follow me to collect it. Huh? Wait, what order? Did we place an order? Delia lowers her voice. I won't run. Please let go of me so people don't notice. The inspector needs to know the truth. I can't let myself die before that. Delia looks at the inspector. Chiyohua and Groza look at me, awaiting my order. Why are you so afraid of me? I'm just a hurt civilian. I'm not even armed. Let's go. You came here looking for me, right? I signaled to Chiyohua and Groza to let her go. Please follow me to the temporary cargo holding area, dear customers. Delia leads us away. She's trying to move quickly, but her injuries mean she isn't actually moving at all that fast, which only adds to the tension. We've come to a halt deep within the storage area, which is largely deserted. At first, my plan was to continue pretending to have lost my memory and stay in the scavenger's camp before leaving the settlement. The further I go from this place, the better. But in the end, I couldn't do it. Delia looks toward the scavenger's camp and sighs, and then takes a booklet out of her pockets. There are dark red stains on it. This is the real counting ledger for the warehouse. You'll need it. The late former warehouse manager hid it very well. Damn him. It took me a lot of effort to find it, and I doubt you're interested in hearing the details right now. Delia looks at the inspector. We still have no idea what that implies. For the past few years, you would go out in person and inspect the progress of the preparations for the trade fair. That was why I chose to pose as a merchant at the fair. In order to increase my chances of meeting you, I needed to personally ensure that this book reached your hands. Inspector, I have something I'd like to report. That would be Expedition Leader Garen. Oh no, Common Rider Garen. He's an evil rider. For many years, he has falsified the amount of supplies gathered and falsely claimed contribution points for the expedition team. In addition, he had stolen large amounts of collapse pieces. They took them in roughly 20 batches since the start of last month. The evidence is included in that ledger. A cold wind blows. For a while, everyone is silent. Is it a tradition of the settlement to drop bombshell news with completely straight faces? Contorting your faces for emotional expression consumes energy, which is a luxury I do not have right now. Delia wobbles as another gust of wind blows, and Sabrina worriedly moves up to support her. You need medical attention, Signorina. Delia waves her off, her eyes still fixed on the inspector. The previous warehouse manager was in on it, but it seems he had a disagreement with Garen on the matter of the collapse pieces, so he lost his life. The moment I took over, I noticed something wrong with the accounts and was nearly silenced as a result. My would-be killers thought I was dead and threw me into a disused storm drain. If these dolls hadn't been there, nobody would have found my corpse. Who do you think sent those killers, and what weapons do you think they used? The inspector does not reply. Girls and Sabrina quietly look away. It's a little embarrassing to be called out for illegal immigration right in front of the region's supreme authority. I fled here because of the disaster. I noticed how bad life in the Yellow Zone can be. It took a long time and a lot of hard work for this settlement to get to how it is today. And it's thanks to everyone's efforts that it's still going. I decided I'm done fleeing. It's too tiring for me. Can you take care of this, Inspector? Right now, the only person who can stand up to Leader Garen, the only person we can count on, is you. It is at this point that the inspector breaks his silence.
You ought to know that just this one piece of evidence isn't enough. The former warehouse manager's body has already been disposed of. That particular dead man will not be telling any tales.
But we have a duty to the residents. Everyone has worked hard all year and handed their excess wealth and resources to the management to handle. Hardly anyone has any reserves. Now that the celebration is at hand, we both know that the people are going to start panicking if the supplies aren't handed out, and it will soon erupt into an unrest and chaos like the outside. This is more than a simple case of theft, so I urge you to treat this matter with the utmost seriousness.
I understand the gravity of what you have said, and I will thoroughly investigate this matter. Until then, the guards will arrange for you to be housed in a safe location and receive round-the-clock protection.
In jail?
I've considered that option.
The inspector ignores Chiyohua's groans and looks Delia in the eyes.
The farm does not have any dedicated witness protection areas, so in lieu of that, a prison cell would be a more secure location. As it is staffed by reliable personnel and its layout is already well known, currently, it is the best option for protecting a sensitive witness. I will do my best to furnish you with a comfortable environment and medical care in your cell. You will only be detained for a short period of time in order to ensure your safety.
You don't have to explain further. I trust you to do the right thing. Inspector, I've already celebrated many celebrations here, and the management, you've never once missed a single one, which is why everyone has come to trust you. Delia thinks, and then she fixes the inspector with a stern look. I believe you understand the significance of the celebration in everyone's eyes. It's more than just a day to collect living supplies. It's a symbol of hope and the future. It shows that the path of unity, cooperation, and coexistence that we chose to cling to is a meaningful one. So please, may the celebration be a happy one.
I will do my utmost.
Oh, the pressure is on. Ugh. The inspector's adjutant and his men escort Delia away and out of sight. Sabrina knows that the inspector's hands are balled up into fists. She nervously moves closer to me before whispering to my ear. Is he going to be alright? He seems a little, Isn't it a good thing that we have an idea where to find the missing collapse pieces? I remember the vendors talking about the inspector and the expedition leaders' shared past. They were battle buddies once. Ooh, yeah, the ultimate betrayal. Dang.
It's good for the case, but for him as a person, well, human emotions are a complex thing.
We return to the admin center with the inspector. There's a gloomy mood in the air. He's like, bro, you became a villain. You were supposed to be my ride or die. Familiar, Evanescence. If you've seen them once, you've seen them all. Have I really now? The inspector looks down at Delia's notes as he flips through them. In addition to the accounting data, Delia has tried to provide as much additional information as she could.
What do you think of the information provided by the witness?
Even if the witness testimony can be corroborated, the charges are being levied against a core figure of the farm. I believe having more proof would be helpful to the case.
There are cameras throughout the farm. There's no way for the opposition to hide if they make a move, so verifying it won't be difficult. The question now is how far you're willing to go to gather this proof.
The inspector remains silent in his seat, as if he's morphed into a statue. He seems ill at ease while sitting in the chair, as if the temporary meeting room suddenly seems very cramped.
Let's verify the evidence. The area surrounding the location where the witness was attacked was covered by a camera. Its footage should be in the appropriate security kiosk. I'll have my people give you today's cipher key. Commander, I hope you will verify the truth of this attack, and I need to know the identity of the person who attacked her. Take whatever screenshots you need and send them to my adjutant. He will corroborate against the database of residents. This commission is still a secret, so I hope you will maintain a low profile. A secret, Are you worried about something, Inspector?
The inspector looks up. There's a sharp glint in his eyes.
It's just in case. Neither the management nor the guards can be fully trusted. My adjutant is beyond suspicion. He's reliable, I'm sure of that.
I hope so. I hope your other ride or die's good. 'Cause your boy betrayed you. I hope it's not gonna be it too, adjutant. Hey, hello, hello.
Understood. All the best to the both of us.
I lead the dolls to the security kiosk in question. Damn it, somebody's messed with this camera too. Wait, two? Why did I say two? That's because the tampering here is almost exactly like what was done during the mini robot theft incident. Don't tell me the same person was behind both cases. It's hard to say. We don't have enough evidence. Let's just start by restoring the original footage. We just need to connect to level 2 like last time, right? Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, it's fine. No fear, no pain. Ta-da! See? No fear, no pain. The data restoration is complete. In the restored footage, we can see Delia falling over after being shot. The killer approaches and drags her to a nearby storm drain. Looks like we're in luck. We got several shots of the killer's face. I'll send these images to the adjutant. While you're at it, ask the inspector about how to proceed next. Should we head back to the admin center and meet up with them? Ah, yes, ready to go, Count Zero. Oh yeah, tonight's gonna be the movie. For Hibiki. I'm excited for that. We find a secluded corner and take a quick rest. Shortly afterwards, the communications alert beeps. It's from the inspector. Put it through. Rosa quickly explains what we discovered.
Yes, my adjutant just told me that there was a match in the resident database. The man is a high-ranking member of the expedition team.
Alright, the expedition team you say. Let's go catch a leader now. What was his name again? I think he's called Garen.
If it really was an inside job, then a lot of doubts from before can be answered. The spate of thefts from the residential areas and the trade fair would force the guards to focus on them, which would mean the warehouse wouldn't be as closely guarded as before, right? The people who would know this best would obviously be core members of the management.
Yes, that's right. And then there's that story about the neon causing trouble. The one came from a member of the expedition team too, right? Someone's uncle's nephew's father's roommate or something. Ah yes, someone's uncle's nephew's father's roommate. Or something.
All this makes the expedition team more suspicious, but it doesn't directly implicate Garen.
Hey, are you still holding on to the past friendship or something? Everyone's class pieces are missing here. Aren't they all going to starve if you drag your feet?
Chihuahua, I'm sure the inspector knows this. He just needs some time.
I stopped Chihuahua from pressing further.
He's done a lot for the settlement, and the people trust him as much as they do me. I need to proceed carefully when it comes to him.
But the festive trade fair's opening ceremony is coming, and you've already delayed it once.
Yes, the traders with our supplies arrived at the farm last week. If we leave them be and fail to close the trade with them, they'll cancel and leave. These brokers are not in the habit of hanging around and wasting time.
Well, I just say that you guys have your principles. A lot of settlements would choose to just rob the brokers outright. I've seen plenty of that in the Yellow Zone.
Trade requires stability and trust. Those settlements you're talking about probably don't last long. Also, we have too many non-combatants here, and we can't afford to have a firefight at the checkpoint. That's also a major factor in all this.
The inspector rubs his temples. Can't you, give out a little less?
I would rather avoid such a course of action until I have absolutely no choice. The management does not rely entirely on the guards to maintain order. The residents obey our regulations because they have faith in us, and a major part of that is not stealing from each other. The residents' obedience is directly predicated on the management's willingness to keep their word. It's a virtuous cycle. Once trust in the management is gone, nobody will buy into the social contract anymore. That way lies chaos. We saw the expedition team before, and there's one thing I'm curious about. Are most of the settlement's weapons concentrated in the expedition team? They're the only group that needs to leave the settlement to work, and they shoulder the greatest risk. Naturally, we give them our best gear, including over 70% of our personal protective gear, weapons, and ammunition to be distributed as they see fit. If the situation truly calls for it, we may need to disperse the residents. I understand your concerns. The truth is, I have an idea, but it's a risky one. Come over to the admin center. We can talk there.
The transmission ends. This'll be fine. We're gonna beat them. That's my guess. And I'm ready. It'll be fun fighting them. Day of departure, nobody knows what lies ahead of us, but we have to take a step toward it eventually. Do we really now? 2 days later, early in the morning, a broker convoy loaded with supplies leaves the settlement. Perhaps it's out of pity or perhaps it's to repay the inspector's honest dealings with them, but they make their exit without fanfare. Expedition leader Garen.
Leo, how can you even sit in your ass at a time like this?
The door to the inspector's office flies open.
They really left. What should we do about our supplies now?
This man from the expedition team projects an air of strength and danger, like a veteran Verjager captain or the leader of a band of bounty hunters.
The supply problem has been taken care of, Mr. Garen.
I nod to Garen. It's only then that he realizes my presence. Hi, Garen. Yep, definitely finishing it today. Because it ends... Yeah, it ends in the morning. Like tomorrow morning, and I'm like, nah. Nah.
And who's this? A guest of yours?
The expedition leader looks at the inspector.
This is the commander of the Omo, our new partner. We've partnered with the broker, Aminda, whom I introduced to the inspector. She can accept a short-term deferral and payment with my guarantee. You sounded desperate, so she's on her way now. Once again, I thank you for your help in this hour of need. All the residents will remember your kindness.
This development seems to have taken Garen by surprise, because he pauses before speaking.
Oh, so it's been settled, huh? Alright then. Miss Amina doesn't know the region well, so we're planning to send a team out to receive her. It's no problem.
Garen thinks for a moment, and then he adds something else.
You guys don't leave the settlement often, so you probably don't know the way. Let me handle the meeting. I'll bring my boys along. I can rest assured with you handling things. The festive trade fair is almost here. We cannot have any slip-ups. Looks like we'll be meeting Amina together, Leader Garen. I'll get my guys ready.
In the blink of an eye, it's time to head out.
The commander was it. Let's go. You lead the way. Hang on. The inspector isn't here yet. What the hell do you need him for? You're an outsider, so you probably don't know, but all he does is send the expedition team off every now and then. He's too busy to come each time. Let's go. Don't bother waiting for them. For him.
And my door opened. Whoops. Just a moment. I was being asked about dinner. I'm like, not yet. I'm playing. I'm too busy to eat.
Let's go. Don't bother waiting for him.
Sabrina looks surprised. Huh? Didn't you know, Leader Garen? The inspector's coming with us to meet Aminda.
Say what?
I hear the sound of footsteps behind us. It's the inspector.
Sorry to keep you waiting. We can go now. Leo, what the hell? You finished all your business. The fair's about to begin, you know. Aren't you supposed to stay home and make sure everything's running fine? The hell are you doing out here?
Garen, why are you so upset? Your boy wants to go out for once. He's like, you leave me at home all the time. I want to go out too, you know?
The shipment is of vital importance. If anything goes wrong with it, nothing else will matter. So if anything comes up, having me around will make things go more smoothly. Ha, it's been years since you've been outside of town. Don't you think you're getting a little too old for this? Just settle down. We don't need sudden sense from you at a critical moment like this. If you want to go out on a ride, I'll bring you with me on our next expedition. You can save it. I've already made up my mind. Seriously.
Garen, why are you so upset about your boy wanting to go with you? Aren't you supposed to be like besties or something?
It's time to head out. Since you clearly value the shipment very highly, it's best you make a decision soon. Let's go.
Garen clearly hasn't given up on dissuading Leo, but the inspector ignores him and looks at me. Mount up, everyone. Follow me. Stinky Garen. Old glory, my comrade, old friendships age like flesh does. Delicious. The jeep speeds over the wilderness, stabbing into a horde of elids like a lance.
Fuck! What kind of shitty route is this?
Garen's voice is even louder with the wind blowing right in his face. The familiar outdoors seemed to have caused him to shed some of his restraint.
Time is tight, and the terrain here is comparatively flat, so going straight would be quicker. As for the occasional obstacle...
An elid blocking our path collapses as a gunshot rings out. The inspector's action supplies the answer. Whoa, nice shot, Inspector!
Meh. I haven't been in a firefight for too long, so I've gotten rusty. Compared to back then.
The inspector laughs in a self-depreciating way, and his mouth curves up in a smile. Back then? I heard the vendors at the fair say Inspector Leo and Leader Garen used to be pals in a bounty hunter crew back in the day.
Yup, sure were. This guy used to be a real William Tell. He knocked them down as fast as they popped up. That shot just now was too slow. Nothing like how he was in the past. I mean, nothing like how he was in his peak.
Most bounty hunters tend to stay on the move. Once they finish sweeping an area, they move on to the next, and their routes are largely decided by their commissions. So why did you guys decide to quit the business and settle down? This seems to be an ancient history for them. Garen thinks for a long time before finally giving an answer.
We messed up one too many times. Lots of our guys got hurt bad or kicked the bucket. In the end, our crew broke up. You know how life is in the Yellow Zone. This sort of thing happens all the time. All you need is to fill your belly. Take me, for example. As long as you've got the skills to pay the bills, you can eat well no matter where you go.
Rosa drives a jeep over a sandy curve, and all conversation stops for a bit. We end up swaying back and forth for some time before we can finally settle down.
Our crew was never really that united to begin with, and we had discussions before doing anything. Anyone who agreed would join us on a commission, and anyone who didn't wouldn't take part. While we lived and ate together, we didn't have much in the way of common consensus or close ties. Garen, remember that blonde-haired midget from back in the day? I think so. What happened to him? Don't remember anything about him. Don't think he built the farm with us. Well, he loved picking up first aid kits and would always go straight for them. Whenever guys got hurt, they'd have to buy medical supplies off of him. And if he couldn't pay, he would just watch as you died in front of him.
Wow! He's like, aw, no money? No life? Bye! Or actually, not even bye. He's like, come on. You know you want to pay up? No? Not yet? How about now? No, not yet? How about now? Sorry. Like, dang, dude.
Aw, yes, I remember now. You were always a busybody. I can't remember how many times you lent money to the people begging him for meds. In the end, everybody you lent money to died, and you didn't get a single credit back. Ha ha ha.
Hiya, lending money in the Yellow Zone is risky. You need to invest wisely. That said, you're a good man for doing what you did, Inspector. Hats off to you.
Well, that blonde midget died later on, and nobody ever found that medical chest he always carried with them.
He took it with him to the grave. Wow, it despawned with him. He's like, this is mine now. And when I go down, if you don't pick up the loot fast enough, poof.
Well, no shit. Hell, it might not even have been the enemy that got him. One of our guys might have been eyeing his meds. Back then, we were always coming back with fewer people than we started out with. Some died and some left. Who's to say one of them didn't take the chest and scrammed? Back then, people only cared about what they needed at the moment. It wasn't uncommon for infighting to happen because they found something valuable. Crews like that would either crumble or fall apart by themselves.
Garen frowns. It seems like he's realizing something, because his tone changes.
That said, it's a yellow zone, Leo. It's like that everywhere. We're all going to die sooner or later, so I'll just have to fight to survive for as long as I can. How did that saying go? Seize the day? I thought that rather than drifting aimlessly, it was better to find a place to settle down. It wasn't necessarily by worse than being a bounty hunter. That's why we came to Darksteel Farm after the crew disbanded.
A strange silence fills the jeep. Just then, we spot a plume of smoke in the distance. Commander, a pack of Ellis is approaching us.
They're just in time. I've been meaning to give these old bones of mine a little workout.
That's kind of cute for Inspector Leo. He was like, well, being a bounty hunter was fun and all, but it's time for me to settle down. And then he went and made a settlement. That's cute. Cowed by the doll's fire, the Elids instinctively flock toward the direction where the gunfire is more sparse. There, Garen and the rest of his expedition team members are having a hard fight. I know, right? Such a challenging battle.
Come have a go if you're hard enough. Ow! Guard!
Garen's shout becomes a cry of pain. His heavy armor provides him with a solid defense, but it also makes him too slow to avoid the attacks coming from all directions. Chihu's voice comes in over our encrypted channel. Commander, we've logically cleared this side out. Should we go over to assist?
No need to rush. Approach the combat area and wait for my signal.
I watch Inspector Leo head towards Garen. After ensuring that the tactical situation is under control, I take out my binoculars. Behind Garen, an Elliot is about to bash his brains out.
Garen, get down!
Inspector Leo raises his gun and Garen instinctively ducks. The bang which follows is lost in the clamor of battle, but the Elliot behind Garen crumples to the ground. However, this is just a single insignificant moment on the battlefield and more Elliot's pounce on them.
Chihua, Sabrina, go back them up.
Sure thing. I've been waiting for this. Even after putting down my binoculars, I can still see Chihua dragging Sabrina over to help them. From the driver's seat, Groza smiles. As lively as ever. Chihua, I mean.
Yes, she's very good at managing the mood.
The battle soon ends, and the others return to the jeep. Garen and the inspector collapse into their seats and regain their strength. Everyone alright?
Some of our boys on the jeep over there are hurt. Nothing major though. It's no big deal. It was a little close back there, but we're vets of the yellow zone, so it's not like we haven't seen this shit before. Back when we first came to the farm, it was still a heap of rubble, and there were elites running around inside its perimeter. Garen was always at the head of the pack wherever there was an attack. Still remember those days, Garen? How could I possibly forget? We couldn't find anywhere to take cover, so we had to pitch our tents inside one of those condemned buildings. I think it was around the same time as now, yeah? You had to sleep with one eye open, and one night, I woke up to an Elid about to bite my fucking nose off. Oh yes, it was cold that night. I thought we were done for. We used up all of our ammo and nearly froze to death.
Chihua tenses up as she hears this. What happened then? How did you survive?
Well, we somehow managed to fight them off. When we were picking up the pieces, we suddenly heard the broadcast on the radio. It was a festive song and Garen began whistling along with it. Soon, everyone joined in, even though their singing was terrible. I still remember the warmth of that sun that day. It was a good start to the day. I still remember passing Green Zone Convoy. Asked if we were setting off fireworks last night. Yeah, we're shooting off fucking RPGs all night long. How's that for fireworks?
They go back and forth, reminiscing of the past. The mood in the air is the most relaxed that it's been so far.
You shot that Elliot off my face back then, didn't you? Just like now. Man, I'd have been dead if it wasn't for you. That Elliot had a whistle on it. I cleaned it and gave it to you as a memento, so remember it? Of course. I've been holding on to it all this time.
At this point, Garen falls silent and says no more. The inspector looks calmly at Garen.
So, working together was worthwhile, right? After that, we built the farm into what it is today. I believe that focusing on rules and helping each other meant that the farm wouldn't fall apart after a few years, like most bounty hunter crews. You know how it is, we humans are tiny specks. It's only by banding together that we have a chance against the storm of life.
Chiyohua nods vigorously, almost about to chime in with approval. I tug on her and interrupt her from doing so.
Well, it's almost time for the festive trade fair. Our collapsed pieces were stolen and we can't buy the supplies we need. The farm's facing an invisible storm of its own. We built this farm together, and I want to keep it standing to the very end. Garen, will you help me like you did back then?
Garen looks down and then he laughs.
You're as stubborn as ever.
The inspector turns away with a look of disappointment on his face, looking at the road ahead. Just then, a text message alert breaks the silence.
Gentlemen, Aminda's here and we're almost at the designated meeting point.
He's like, Garen, please come clean. This is your last chance, Garen. My boy. Kamen Rider Garen, don't betray us. But nope. Nope. There are two people in the vehicle shelter. They're leaning against the truck on the shelter, waiting for us. We dismount to show our respect and trust. That said, despite being several hundred meters away, one of them is already jumping and hopping around. Commander! Over here! Bibly's here! Bibly happily runs up to us. Don't worry, Commander. Bibly knows today's mission. Bibly will put on a good show. Mr. Pizza? Is something wrong? Cove quickly fiddles with Bibly's Pizza Dust backpack, taking advantage of Beply's distraction to flash the others a placating smile. Sorry, she's new. I'm Aminda, and it's nice to meet new clients. Chiyohua tries mightily to control her laughter and looks away, not daring to look further. Sabrina smiles too, only grows and remains calm. The commander is giving me a rough summary of the situation. I brought what you want. The payment will be in installments. The details are on the contract. Since time is tight, shall we set off now and bring the goods back to the settlement right away?
Hang on. I want to check the merch. Open the cargo bay and let's have a look at it.
As he says this, Garen brings his armed exhibitioners over to the truck. Certainly. Cove calmly opens the cargo bay. The expedition team members move crate after crate of cargo out and lay them in neat rows on the ground before inspecting them. As they move toward the crates deeper within, Cove moves to stop them. We're deep in the middle of the yellow zone, right? Surely, bringing them all out would be a little dangerous? If we run into Variaggers, well, my humble enterprise wouldn't be able to take the losses if you couldn't move them all back in time.
Garen, we're getting the goods first and paying them later. We can inventory the cargo when we get back. No need to worry about them pulling tricks.
Yep, that's right. Anything could happen out here, so it's best to get back to safety first.
Garen, just check a few of them. We should prepare to head back soon.
The expeditioners do not stop opening crates and ignore the inspector's words. My pulse quickens. These resource crates are placeholders, borrowed from the Elmo. Not all of them are filled with supplies, and there's no telling when to open one that's filled with sand. Ooh, it's like gotcha! That's fun. Will you get supplies or will you get sand? Ooh, 50-50.
Fine. Stop and load it all back up. Let's go. We'll lead the way.
The inspector turns away. A weapon chamber is with an audible click from behind him. More plumes of dust rise up from the distance as more jeeps drive over, easily cutting us off from the truck. These vehicles have the emblems of the expedition team on them, but they weren't in the convoy just now. Leader Garen, what is the meaning of this?
Is this what you chose in the end, Garen?
Armed and armored men jump down from the jeeps and approach us. Their guns are aimed at the inspector and me. The dolls immediately form a screen in front of us.
Broker, this is farm business. Stay out of it. You get the money you promised and an extra 10% as a gratuity.
Sure, we'll be good. Clove smiles and backs up with her hand behind her back, but I sense that she's waiting for my command. I give her an almost imperceptible nod by way of response.
And you, Commander. Of the what was it? The Elmo. If you butt out now, we'll pay you off too. Unfortunately, in our line of work, with these things called principles, you see. Plus, I have my reputation to think about, so unfortunately, I can't do that. I mock bow in apology, but stand my ground. Garen snorts. They're farm expedition members now than before. Clearly this has given him a huge boost in confidence. Not leaving. Then you're just asking to die. Before that, can I ask you why you're doing this? On account of the fact that we used to be friends. Shit, you don't know. I figure I can give you a feasible... I figure I can give you a freebie before you die. I took the collapsed pieces. I wanted to screw your little festive fair over. And I wanted those losers you took pity on to kick you out. Along with all those useless bums you hired. You just run the farm into the ground with those losers dragging you down. We in the expedition team do the most and risk the most. I should have been the inspector in the first place.
Wow, Kamen Rider Garen. You're salty that you didn't get the job you wanted. Garen gets more and more worked up as he speaks, as though he's pouring out years of frustration at once. Like, sheesh. Dang. Wait, maintenance ain't out in HSR? Huh? Today is so hot. Very, very, very hot. I was debating napping before this, but I decided against it. Because I'm like, it's too hot. I'm gonna wake up feeling worse than I fall asleep. So instead, I played some Uma Musume. Watched some YouTube. Drank some water. Drank a little bit of Monster, and now I'm here.
Do you know how many of my boys died out there? Do you even recognize their faces? Have you ever seen them bleed? Get their limbs torn off? Or the crystals growing through their bodies? They died for the supplies we brought back. Why should we share with those useless bums back at the farm?
Garen, they're not useless though. You're paying them for their services. Some of them probably clean, some probably cook. Some build houses, etc, etc.
Those vendors and scavengers are all equally useless. This is a yellow zone. If we can find it, you think we can't sell it? And your guards are just as useless. If it wasn't for the expedition team covering for them, what the fuck would they even be able to protect? But in the end, the supplies got around to everyone anyway.
Garen waves his gun around wildly as he vents, but he never once points it at the inspector. It seems at the moment, getting all this off his chest was more satisfying for him than just finishing us off.
So that's what you're upset about. But have you ever considered what would happen to the farm if things hadn't developed as you expected? What good would the title of inspector be if the farm had fallen into internal upheavals? Would your expedition team be able to escape all that untouched? So what if I didn't think about it? I still believe that anyone who's strong enough can survive anywhere he ends up.
He's like, I just want the title. I don't want the work, but I want the title.
You ought to know just how much the farm is spending and how much we're taking in. We've pretty much swept all the nearby caches, and our expeditions are going further and further, about twice as long as before. Even if we can sustain our numbers at the moment, what about in 3 years' time or 5? Don't forget all those useless mouths you're taking in are popping out brats too.
Yeah, this is Garen. He's upset because it took him so long to get his final form for reals. Stinky Kamen Rider Garen right now.
You can't think of it that way. There are others working the farm too. They're establishing a logistics chain for you and the kids. I mean, you and the kids will grow up to be productive members of the community. Please reconsider, Garen. Put your guns down. The farm still needs an expedition team. We can still make it work. Are you fucking blind? How many people do you have? How many people do I have? I'll make you a counteroffer. Take your hired guns off. Take your hired guns and get lost. Never come back to the farm and I'll spare your life. So, there's no room for discussion then. You can run or die. Please, pick one. Oh, but don't worry. I'll tell them you died along the way. Everyone will remember you. Once I become the inspector, Darksteel Farm will become the most powerful settlement, the Yellow Zone under me. I'll keep the vendors who can make good pitches. As for the rest, heh, they can screw off. It seems there's nothing else to say. I gave you the chance to leave. You were the one who rejected it. Get them, boys.
Garen signals to the expedition team to attack. Some of them hesitate since the target is the inspector, but after seeing their colleagues moving, they raise their guns too.
Alright then.
At some point, the inspector has pulled out an old whistle. He blows on it. Aww, he kept it all this time for reals, like on him. That is adorable and so sad. The shrill sound echoes to the sky. It is answered by the sound of jeeps roaring through the distance from afar. These are reinforcements from the guard squads. Whoa, is that a whistle-shaped transmitter? I've been meaning to modify my own transmitters with retro styling like that. I bet it would look great on the commander. Turns out someone else already did it.
A whistle, you say? Didn't it come up in that story just now? Oh, it's nothing. It's not important. Let's get ready for battle too.
It's probably the same whistle. Girls of Sabrina and Chiyohua aside, I signal to Kolf and Vepley too. Time for Vepley's exciting debut. I'm ready, Commander. Kolf draws her gun, ready for battle. Now the expedition team's advantage is no more. Garen's eyes go wide and he looks incredulously at the inspector.
You knew? That's impossible. When did you find out? Or did? Humph. So you never trusted me in the first place, did you?
The inspector's eyes are filled with a complex mix of emotions.
10 minutes ago, I was still thinking if you were willing to give up on this, I could continue pretending that nothing happened. I'm sorry, Garen.
We're breaking up now, Garen. Goodbye, Garen. We're no longer homies. How bad will this fight be? Commander, we're ready for battle. Your orders, please.
Roger that. Everyone, mission start.
This'll be fine. Ta-da! Go bonk 'em. Hehehehe. And then there was 2. And then there was 1. Ooh, spooky. Go get him. Or not? Okay, done. Ta-da! Flames of passion. Several guards have Garen tied up. The inspector walks up to him.
Tell me where the collapsed pieces are, Garen. You sounded confident enough to give that broker a 10% bonus, so I'm sure you've hidden them somewhere.
At first, we thought that Garen wouldn't tell us. After all, the collapsed pieces were a valuable bargaining chip, enough to buy his life. However, he gives up the location so readily that it catches everyone off guard.
Got that?
Data log, Commander. I recorded the coordinates too. It's inside Darksteel Farm, deep inside the ruins it seems.
Sure, I lost. I wasn't wrong though. I just wasn't strong enough. I admit that.
Wow, Garen. He's like, dang. You know what? I live by the law of the land where the strong get to command the weak, and you just proved how strong you are, my boy Leo. So, anything you say, I will answer. Wow, though.
Leo, I'll be watching you from the afterlife.
He snorts derisively.
Well, leaving that aside, if you ask me, things won't end up well for softies like you, Leo. Shit, considering we used to be buddies, I hope you make it to the next year. Thank you, Garen.
As the inspector looks at his former friend, his face is a mask of pity and regret. Then he chambers around. Garen leans forward, resting his head against the muzzle of the inspector's gun.
Commander, this is internal matter for the farm. Would you mind?
Oh, the dolls and I are just going to go scout the perimeter. Been a while since we went for a walk on the wasteland. I gather the dolls and lead them away with me. Behind us, the guards have Garen's men at gunpoint. By the time I get back to the jeep, the faint sounds of cracks and pops can be heard in the distance. It sounds just like the fireworks in the green zone, doesn't it? Yeah, out with the old, in with the new. Leave all the bad stuff behind and welcome a brand new start. I hope they will see a new beginning. Despite Chiyo's attempts to cheer everyone up, everyone is still strangely gloomy. I pat them all on the shoulder. Well, at least he's not a sore loser. I'm gonna give him that. Just then, Perry sends us a transmission. Commander, I contacted Aminda as requested. We're together now. I think the sound of gunfire has died down. Can we approach?
Yes. Escort Aminda to the real meetup point. The farm's inspector will be there after we arrive.
Roger that. Perry ends the transmission. Several days ago, after Chiyo and I asked Aminda for help, the real Aminda responded to us. I arranged for Perry to have her wait nearby so she wouldn't get caught up in the fighting, while Kolf and Vepley impersonated her. The inspector and Aminda quickly gave the supplies a once-over, and on the way back, the inspector chooses to ride with us.
When we go back, I'll tell them that Garen and his expedition team were attacked by Verjägers and died. I trust you all know what to do and don't need me to elaborate, right? Understood. Don't worry. Our lips are sealed.
Can I ask about something? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I saw some of the expedition team members were kind of confused about what to do, and they didn't really seem too heavily involved with all this. Are they going to die gloriously too?
There weren't a lot of those outsiders, so the guards are going to have a good, long chat with the survivors. They're probably going to be traumatized after watching their teammates die, so they'll need some follow-up therapy for a while. Then once they're fully recovered, they can go back to work.
The inspector says all this with a straight face, as though the expedition leader Garen had actually been killed by a Verjäger attack. Ah, Inspector, there's a little splash in your neck. Sabrina touches her neck to indicate the spot in question. The inspector reaches up to try and wipe the stain out. The stain, but only spreads the reddish-brown color further, like a wound that will not heal.
Let me do it.
I squirt some water on my hydration pack, and finally, the wound is wiped away. I note the whistle-shaped transmitter hanging around his neck is now outside his shirt.
Is that the whistle Garen gave you?
The inspector looks down and reaches up to hold it.
Yes.
Aw, that's adorable and so sad. He truly loved Garen. He's like, dang, look at this gift Garen gave me. I'm gonna make this into my communicator. My transmitter. He doesn't elaborate, but he doesn't take it off either. Only stuffs it back inside of his shirt.
I didn't play for a long time before today, but now, I feel like I'm a bounty hunter again.
The road is rough and the engine roars. We shake and shudder inside the vehicle, not knowing what lies ahead of us.
The leader of the bounty hunter crew ought to protect his people. A settlement's leader ought to protect his home. It's the same thing. You're more than qualified to be a leader.
My words force a laugh from the inspector.
Actually, I have a question I'd like to ask. It's just an idle question, so don't take it seriously. What are you planning to do after this trade fair? The expedition team was your primary source of income, right?
The inspector is silent for a while.
There are too many things I have to do. I don't know where to begin. The expedition team has lost its leader. We'll need to appoint a new one and recruit new members. Garen's concerns were valid. The farm needs to improve its productivity, and find new resources. The path to survival will be difficult, but I believe that when one door closes, another opens.
There's Yura! Our good boy Yura. His tone grows more and more grim as he contemplates these matters.
Now that I think about it, I should have seen this coming. The expedition team has been unhappy about how resources were allocated for a long time now. I told him that our current reward scheme favors the expedition team's contributions over all others. Plus, even if he had won, it wouldn't change the fact that he'd need to support a staff. Everyone in the settlement has their own tasks to complete.
The inspector pauses and then looks at Chiyohua before continuing.
Apart from the scavengers.
Huh? Why did you suddenly?
Yura told me that the scavengers could effectively develop the ruins, and that they knew various agricultural techniques, which could provide us with a limitless source of food. But he was wrong. The residents didn't see any value in keeping them. That was also one of the factors that drove Garen to his rebellion, although I didn't expect him to actually do it.
Just making sure I didn't accidentally click. Okay, yeah.
It isn't just the expedition team that's unhappy with them. If we don't solve the problem of the scavengers, the other residents won't be happy to tolerate them either. Won't be able to tolerate them either. Do you regret taking them in?
The inspector thinks and then he shakes his head.
Darksteel Farm is their home, and people in the Yellow Zone have all had times when they were adrift and lost, myself included. Nobody wants to lose their home a second time. I'll do my best to buy them some time, but I also need to take the well-being of all the residents into consideration too. So, in the end, they'll have to rely on themselves.
After the inspector says this, we all fall silent for a while. Well, if it's just about the food, I might have a solution there, or rather, I'm pretty sure I have a solution. We all look at Chiyohua. I wanted to mention this earlier, but we had a lot of stuff going on, so I never had a chance to tell Yura. Anyway, I saw Soa's hazelnuts while we were exploring the ruins.
What's that?
It's a poisonous plant Yura was talking about. Actually, it grows fruit. You need to crack them open and process them, but in short, they're edible. I spent a lot of time in the Yellow Zone running around and studying what new life forms in the Yellow Zone can and can't be eaten, so I think you can trust me on this. I can vouch for that. Chiyohua is a proper Yellow Zone master chef now. The fact that they're everywhere in the ruins means raising them is pretty simple. Even if you need some time to grow them, just harvesting what's in the ruins should be enough to tide you over for a year and a half or so. Also, they're really filling too. In short, I think the scavengers will be able to feed themselves.
It would be great if they could cultivate them.
Relax, Inspector. I'm sure the scavengers can do it. The truth is, I disagree with what Leader Garen had said before. Chiyohua hesitates, but she ultimately decides to continue with the topic. Even if things are tough now, based on what I've seen of the people in the Yellow Zone these few years, I believe humans will continue to survive, and the world will continue to get better. Someday, everyone will be able to eat their fill and wear a full set of comfortable clothes that fit well, and do the work they like. Of course, the requirement for that is that the people don't give up. No matter what choices they make, whether they accept or reject something, they have to keep going on. As for me, I'll keep doing what I can do, which is to make sure everyone gets something to eat. Mr. Inspector, you aren't a weak man. You live a good long time. And maybe when your hair turns gray and white, you'll see a kinder, gentler world, like we've never seen before. For once, Chiyohua is absolutely serious and solemn. Everyone is briefly stunned into silence until Sabrina giggles. But Bravissimo! That's exactly the kind of thing you'd say to Yura. What do you mean by that? Of course, I'd say what I would say. The dolls begin squabbling as the jeep continues forward. And from the corner of my eye, I can see the inspector smiling too. Aw, he's happy now. He's become a happy boy. That's cute. Happy ending? I'm assuming happy ending. Endless hearth flame. What's a celebration without sizzling hot food? Mmm, delicious. I'm excited for that. Oh, heck yeah. We find the glass pieces at the location Garen gave us, and the festival takes place as planned. Unlike the previous years, this year's ceremony includes a memorial service for the fallen members of the expedition team. After the solemn event, the distribution of annual supplies takes place, and the settlement erupts into wild revelry. Chief Yura, your boxes look really heavy. Need help carrying them?
It's alright. We scavengers didn't have that many contribution points, so we only managed to collect a few boxes. I can handle 3 more loads like this by myself. It's not like you have to push yourself so hard. Commander, can you understand the joy I'm feeling right now? I'm carrying our supplies. The more I have, the heavier they are. So the extra weight is actually a sense of security, or the tiredness that comes from happiness.
At Yura's insistence, all we can do is watch him return with his hands full without lifting a finger to help. Aw, he feels accomplished. I like that. By the time we return to the scavenger's camp, Chihu has already finished her tutorial on how to cook and prepare the soulless hazelnuts, and we can hear her bright, cheery voice through the flaps of the tent. Once again, I emphasize you absolutely have to make sure you cook it thoroughly. If it's not properly cooked, you mustn't eat it. Groza has taken Sabrina to go shopping, which leaves me with nothing to do but watch the scavengers as they begin cultivating their test plot. Shortly afterwards, I hear footsteps from behind as Chihu walks up to me.
Done with the lesson?
Yep, my students are doing self-study now. I hope we don't get any food poisoning cases tonight. Chihu moves to my side. The scavengers are laboring on their various tasks, and for the moment, nobody notices us. In the past, I left the Green Zone farm because I saw a lot of cases where people and places fell apart. When I delivered fancy and expensive ingredients to the Green Zone restaurants, I watched people throw away leftovers without a second thought. But when I did deliveries to the Yellow Zone, every moment and every place I visited had people plagued by hunger, pain, and fear. I could have changed the restaurants in the Green Zone, but there's a lot I can do in the Yellow Zone. Chihuhua's voice is quieter and gentler than usual. Truth is, I wasn't always good at cooking, but I spent the past few years focusing on food, looking for hidden gems among ingredients, and figuring out how to prepare them. Slowly, my cooking skills improved. Food. It seems to have a magical power that can ease pain. People would sigh in relief after eating the stuff I made. Perhaps feeling hungry is something like the hope to survive, don't you think?
You've grown a lot in your search for a cooking skill. You've done well during this incident.
Really? Chiho looks at me, her eyes shining like stars. I'm glad you approve, Commander. You know, I haven't thanked you for helping me with this whole thing, Commander.
You don't need to. This is an interesting experience for me.
What do you mean by that? Of course I had to thank you. Well, it started off as just fulfilling a request from my old boss. Halfway through, it turned into carrying out a mission that I assigned to myself. Whether it's the scavengers here, the residents in the settlement, I want to spare them all the pain of hunger and give them the courage they need to move on. Do you think I managed to do that, Commander?
Well, the look on your face tells me you're pretty proud of what you've done. Still, since you want me to praise you, I'll praise you again.
Thanks, Commander. Satisfied, Chihuahua decides to change the topic. Ah yeah, now that you mention it, our reunion turned out completely different from what I originally planned. I was going to sneak aboard the Elmo with a whole bunch of awesome ingredients and brand new skills, then announce myself with a full-on banquet. How did I end up making such a sloppy entrance anyway? Can we do it again, Commander? You know, pretend that you never saw me. Give me a chance to sneak aboard the Elmo.
This reunion is good enough. Don't worry about it.
True, sure. It was sloppy, but that was just because of the circumstances. A reunion was everything I wanted. I'm glad to be back by your side again. I laugh and pat Chihu on the back. A scavenger's voice comes from the tents, calling for Chihua.
Miss Chihua,
Where are you, miss? Can you show us something more dishes, please? I'm coming. Chihua bids me farewell before rushing towards the tents.
Wait, Chihua.
I just remember that Mei-Ling, she's our mechanism aboard the Elmo, sent a recipe for jiaozi filling a while back. Seems like she wants some. Can you do anything with it? No problem. Jiaozi are part of my specialty. Just leave it to me. I send Chihua Mei-Ling's recipe. At the foot of the highlands, another person approaches me. It's the inspector.
This is the first time I've seen the scavenger camp so lively. We meet again, Commander.
The inspector looks around and greets me breezily.
Chief, yours by the tents. No, I'm here for you.
The inspector takes an envelope from his pocket.
The special entry permit is for you. An additional gift, above and beyond what was promised in the contract. For the sake of our continued friendship.
Aww. I look at the permit, which bears the inspector's personal signature. I suddenly recall the crap we went through and being chased by the checkpoint's guards because of this, giving me an urge to chuckle.
On behalf of the farm's residents, and myself, of course I would like to thank you for the help you gave to Darksteel Farm. Even if I can't publicly declare it, this permit will serve as a symbol that the Elmo will always be a friend of the farm. You're welcome. Now that I've delivered my gift, my gift, I'll be heading back. When I stay for dinner, Chihu is cooking up a storm. I have to take care of things at the admin center. We'll share a drink next time.
The inspector waves to us and goes back to the way he came. Commander, we're back. Girls are bought tons of cute little trinkets. And me too. I stocked up on cheese. Ooh, the cheese. I want the cheese. Cheese. Sabrina, don't bring it up.
Why hide it? Today's a day of celebration. It's okay to go over budget if it's once in a while. Why do you have so much food?
Miss Celia forced us to take it. She said it was thanks for saving her life. She spent a lot of contribution points on them, but apparently, the inspector transferred her some from his personal account. Aww.
So it's a gift. That's good to hear. Send it all to Chihua. We'll have extra dishes tonight.
Evening comes as smoke from the cook fires curls up into the sky. In the distance, the trade fair and the settlement glow brightly in the twilight. Around us. The tents are suffused by a warm radiance. I call Mei-Ling and all the dolls who aren't occupied at the moment to the campsite so they can enjoy the evening with us. Oh, cute! Hot. Coming through. Make way. Aya. Where did all the GLs go? Save some. Save me some, come on. Chihu's voice fills the air. She strides out with big plates of food in hand. Yum. I want to eat her cooking. Around her, the scavengers exchange seasonal greetings as they celebrate surviving another year. Commander, sometimes I feel like the fire in the stove is like a little ember of hope because whenever there's smoke from a cooking fire, there's hope and a future. After thinking for a bit, I nod in agreement. No matter how hard the previous year might have been, people's hearts are still filled with the joy in the moment when a plate of piping hot food is laid on the table, and their shared enjoyment of the dishes brings them closer together. Commander, have a good time. The coming year is going to be a good one, right? I'm sure it will. Yay, happy ending. And now to summon. Eehehehehe. Okay, wait. Let me do these fights real quick. Okay, from here... This will be easy. Machine Tide, beware of the robot. Like, this is a cute event. The inspector seems so harsh at first, but he's just a softie. A very, very sentimental softie. The inspector ended up being the most adorable. Keeping the whistle that Kamen Rider Garen gave him. As a memento, he's like, I love this whistle. It's the first present he ever gave me. Like, dang. Dang, dude. Yeah, didn't stop him from shooting his friend in the head, execution style. Well, he put him out of his misery in a way. He's like, I have to be the one to finish him. We are boys after all. Okay, next fight. Elite Purge. Head deep into the hostile territory and continue the annihilation. I give the inspector credit, though. He was able to put his buddy out of misery. He was able to pull the trigger in the end. He's like, Garen, you became corrupted. So, if anyone's gonna do it, I'ma do it. Shoot. Or bang. Bang, bang, bang. Like fireworks. Just And then there was one. Spooky. Ta-da! Next fight, please. I like how it just moves you to the end. Well, Transcription Master. Investigate all irregularities and let no trace go. No fear, no pain, no survivors. And you know what? Just to make these fights go faster, even faster, right? Because dang, these fights are so long. Oh my goodness. Way too intense. Too intense by me. Okay, one turn good. Ta-da! I wonder how many contribution points we got for helping out. It must be fun shopping there. Especially with all the food. Limited combination. Let's fight side by side like old times until the last grain of sand falls from the hourglass. Oh, like old times. Ow. The boys. And then to bonk. No fear. No pain. Oh, we were evacuating. Oops. It should be fine. Okay, and now to evacuate some more. All the enemies are down already, so let's see how they do this. How slow are they gonna walk? Worst case, I might have to redo this one. Depending. Oh wait, never mind, it's right there. They're being smart enough. Okay, 2 gone. Please escape. Good job. Good job. Ta-da! Always well. And then the last one. Chalk and cheese. Chalk and cheese? Why chalk and cheese? If all our differences are so great that there is no reconciling them, then the final solution is the last method available to us. Well, if we're eating potatoes and dirt, why not chalk and cheese? Mmm, yummy. Extra roughage? No, extra calcium. Yes, calcium. And minerals. Mmm, yummy. Chalk and cheese. Ta-da! All is well. Woohoo! Actually, wait. There's 3 left? Wait, what did I miss? Oh, I missed this one. Silly me. Restoring the truth. Carefully examine the evidence and learn what actually happened. Ah, yes. Learn what actually happened after the chalk and cheese. Oops. My bad. I ate my celebratory meal too fast. Or too soon. Okay, 4 out of 8. 5 out of 8. Two left. Still 2 left. And then there was one. Oh, this guy's just being overkilled. Ouch. Ta-da! The truth has been restored. And the truth is there's no fear, no pain. Hit mine and then to summon. Ooh, summons. Woohoo! Summon, please. Actually, no, I don't gotta do that. I know I do. Claim all. Okay, that's good. Then I can go here. 16 hours left. Yeah, I got this. Single pulls, because I'm close to pity. Okay, first pull the night. Blue. Okay. Next, please. What will it be? It be? Blue. Wow. Next, please. What will this one be? It be? Blue! Next, please. Yeah, this will be 50-50, I think. Because I want a copy of her. Blue! Oh my! Next, please. And the answer is... blue! Ta-da! Another one. What will it be this time? It is... blue! Wow! Oh my goodness, so much blue! blue. Blue, 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 blue. Yeah, I can just grab these real quick. Don't mind me. I can do that fight later. Oh, wait, my door's opening again, but... Wait, almost done! I'll come on in a bit! I'll eat my dinner soon, wait, I just want to see if I can get some... Like, enough to do one more pull. I could always just use my triangles, my Doritos, but not yet. Wait, almost done! Okay, I'll do my daily. I'm bad. I'm so bad. Actually, there's this thingy too. Shh! Just ignore the amount of Ds I have in there. Shh! Shh! You saw nothing. I don't claim stuff. I'm bad. A supply shop? I'm not touching that one. Just go here real quick. Let's see what color this one is. It is... blue! It's all blue! I might just go to my Doritos or buy a little thingy. Oh man. I'm so bad. I haven't been claiming these a lot. Like, yeah, you can judge my lack of claiming. There's still time for me to finish this one. Totally. Good enough. I'm slacking for that pass. I at least got the one thingy that I wanted the most. Actually, wait. What am I at now? There's still time. I have like 15 hours. I can do that later on tonight or in the morning. Plus, the game's on my phone, so I can play it while getting my dinner, I guess. At least I finished the event. Then I can just do the extra stuff afterwards. So woohoo! I'll be good. I'll go out before my room's entered again. So that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the epic gacha luck. I'll play more on my phone later on tonight. So I'll see you guys later. Gonna see what's for dinner because I kept on being interrupted. So woohoo! Food time! So bye-bye! Woohoo! No fear, no pain. I'm not getting bonked, hopefully.